What it do, baby boos? Goddess of Fire back for another fire conversation. Hot topic today is Mercury stationing direct. I know I'm a day late and $1 short on this one, but energy is still going to be the same from yesterday to today. So the energy of this Mercury stationing direct really feels like we are coming out of like clouded thoughts. The word amnesia comes to mind, like we're coming out of an amnesiac state, like almost like we've been under a spell, right? So we had this Mercury retrograde start in the sign of Aquarius, and now it is stationing direct in the sign of Capricorn, if I believe. So what this also relates to is the relationship Mercury is going to have with air signs and earth signs throughout the year of 2022. So each of the retrogrades will start in an air sign and station direct in an earth sign. So that's going to be really important. And I think that's why I'm picking up on like the amnesia, like I forgot who I am type energy, because our head's going to be up in the clouds. Our communication is going to be up in the clouds. It's going to be very cloudy. There's not going to be the clean lines that we normally see within ourselves. So just being aware of that and knowing that going forward is going to be super helpful to your cause. And then forgot to hook up my microphone, but so the sound should be better going forward. But yeah, knowing this energy is going to be super helpful to your cause going forward, because you know you're going to be in a very heady space when we enter into the retrograde. So there's going to be a lot of thoughts flowing, circulating, and that will just give you the power. It'll allow you to kind of maintain control if you know that information ahead of time. And then all the while, it's almost like there's going to be a lot of thinking, planning, dreaming, manifesting in these Mercury retrogrades. And then boom, when it goes direct, it's going to ground all of this energy to create it into physically in our experience. So, before I go any further into this, got a couple things to say. You know the deal. I swear in all of my readings, so if that's not something that you jive with, feel free to exit stage left. No love lost. I genuinely hope that you find the guidance and the messages that you are out there seeking, because there are plenty of YouTubers that do tarot that don't use as colorful language as I do. Second, my readings are all general. That means it'll be one size fits most, one size fits some. In certain cases, it'll be one size fits one, but it cannot and will not ever be one size fits all. So think of my readings as a dressing room, folks. Take what fits and leave the rest behind. So I already pulled up a couple of oracle cards, just as I was kind of shuffling here. And the first card that came out was the Storm. And it says, every hurricane comes to an end. And we're going to include this one too. Okay. The second one is Feast. Slow down and celebrate yourself. And then we have Thorns. Weave together the crown you deserve. So coming into this directness for Mercury, it's like every storm has an end. It's been a little crazy. The beginning of 2022 has been a little crazy. Starting out with Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde, that's kind of bullshit. I'm just gonna say that. Like, way to go, universe. Way to start this year off with a bang. Okay? We're not okay. Some of us aren't okay right now. But knowing this, we're grounded. We're coming into groundedness. We might have been up in the clouds with this storm energy, and now we're coming back down. So survey the scene. What made it through this storm and what didn't, and why, I think is what this is a reflective energy a little bit for me. So, and then with this feast energy, slow down to celebrate yourself. I think when it comes to retrogrades, people get uncomfortable because it does feel like time moves a little bit slower. It feels like things don't click as quickly as we are normally able to see something click, right? But this is also honoring the path and honoring the emotions that you've experienced, and it's time to slow down and celebrate that. I also don't think it's a coincidence that we're getting this type of energy too right after we have, in bulk, and that's all about celebrating newness, planting the seeds of intention that we want to see blossom and bloom in the spring. So now is the time to slow down and celebrate yourself. Celebrate all of the work that you've put in so far in your journey, because we don't celebrate ourselves enough. We've been taught that cheering ourselves on isn't necessarily the best thing, but we also have to be our biggest supporters. So what the fuck are we supposed to do, right? Nobody experiences or expresses that celebration outwardly because we think that that's being self-centered or somehow tuning our own horn or being a braggart or being boastful in some way. No, you are allowed to celebrate yourself. You are allowed to celebrate the accomplishments that you've done. You are allowed to celebrate the hurdles that you were able to jump over. So if somebody isn't celebrating with you, it's because they don't want you to succeed. Moving right along. Going into this thorns energy, weave together the crown that you deserve. I think that's beautiful energy because, one could argue that our life experience is like a rose. We've had some thorns along the way, but at the end of the day, we've got this beautiful flower to admire, to appreciate, right? So I think now is the time for you to, again, be in that celebrative mode and wear your victories as a badge of honor, because you have overcome lots of obstacles. You have overcome lots of pain, and that's something that deserves to be celebrated. That is something that deserves to be recognized. You've reached a different level within yourself and within your experience. So yeah, wear that crown and decorate it as big, as boldly, and as sparkly as you motherfucking want to. Okay. So now is the time for some tarot. I still have not fully broken in these cards, so they give me a lot of trouble when I shuffle. Storms did we have to overcome? What storms did we have to overcome? Doubt and manifestation is what comes to mind. Then we have the Hermit card. To me, this is also a fear of being seen. This is a fear of being successful. That's a storm. That's an internal storm that had to be overcome. Another storm we had to overcome was being uncomfortable with our emotions. So I think a lot of us definitely had to experience some uncomfortability during this here. Yeah, we've been pushed out of comfort zones. We've been challenged with this King of Cups. We've been challenged emotionally for sure. I think we've also had to come to terms with certain people in our lives not having the best intentions. Like we literally got confirmation, physical confirmation, that something wasn't as it seemed with some of our relationships, which makes sense. We finally were able to communicate some things too, because Page of Pentacles is about communication, physical communication, a connection. Yeah, we're just not feeling that. I think we were just decided that we were going to no longer be a part of any type of immature relationships. I legit just heard what sounded like a cat meow in my left ear. So we're not dealing with cattiness anymore. We're not dealing with cattiness. We're not dealing with unnecessary dramas. We're not doing that. And that's, I think, some of the things that we had to overcome. What did we have to celebrate? Learn to celebrate through this retrograde. We had to learn to celebrate our teachings, our higher knowing, our higher knowledge. Ooh. And to come out of being indecisive. Come out of being indecisive, but also the fear of making a solid change. We had to move away from that. You know, the Hierophant is higher learning. This is higher self. This is higher being. This is a soul level. So we had to learn to be able to celebrate our intuition. That's what that's really telling me. To learn how to celebrate it and also trust it, to slow down and listen to it. We had to learn how to slow down and celebrate our dreams too, because we were in a misalignment and out of balance, and that was causing us to be out of alignment with what we actually want to see within our physical world. Interesting. We had to be comfortable with success and owning that success. We also had to celebrate that we are deserving. Celebrating wins is okay. Celebrating ourselves is okay. Again, I heard this song in a previous reading when I pulled the Wheel of Fortune, and it's the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I don't know why, but it's interesting because this one is, I mean, the wheel is in the sky and it keeps on turning in our favor. Success is we're on the brink of something seriously, like being just emotionally stable in all senses, having everything that we need, that perfect 10, whatever that perfect 10 is for your life, that's coming, that's on its way. You know, when weaving together the crown that we deserve, we had to let go of anything that was holding us back. Anything that was keeping us away from our ultimate successes, keeping us from moving forward. How interesting. To me, this is finding stability in an unstable time. That's what a thorn is all about. She's still wearing her crown. She's still making things happen, even though things may be a little bit topsy-turvy. being comfortable making decisions that aren't based in emotion. That's how we weave a crown that we deserve, is having control over our minds. And I think that's what we are experiencing as we enter into this direct stationing direct in the sign of Capricorn. You know, we come out of this with us being in the Queen of Pentacles state. Practical. Practical. How interesting. I had no fucking plans when I started this, so we're kind of going flying by the seat of our pants. As you can see from the setup, it's like this is how we entered the retrograde, the middle, and how we're exiting. So I want to find out, you know, at the entry point, what was our biggest obstacle? What did we have the hardest time overcoming? We had the hardest time, I think, overcoming some inner child wounds and expectations. I think as we come out of this amnesia state, after this kind of mental spell is broken, there's going to be a deeper connection that comes out of this at the end with our inner child and what our expectations are and how invested we are in those expectations. Because I think that's the hard lesson that we had to learn here, is that expectations are the gateways to disappointments. What this also means is changing our intentions, being more focused. This also feels like no longer half-assing our manifestations, because that's how we get disappointed. And celebrating ourselves and learning through the middle of this retrograde, what was our biggest challenges? Bad habits, bad thoughts of thinking, bad health. This also has a lot to do with how we treated ourselves. We've been treating ourselves bad. What else do we have a difficult time with? Being successful, knowing that the great fortune is for us. 26, 8, that's abundance. And coming out of this, what is a challenge that we will still face moving forward? Where are we going to still have a bit of an obstacle? We'll still have a tough time with the journey. And knowing that it's never ending, because there's always going to be something to learn. And that's okay. That's not bad. These are not bad cards. And then I want to see with what we've learned, what are we taking forward with us? With what we learned about our inner child and our expectations and our half-assed manifestations, what are we going to take forward? Interesting. So we pulled 2. So for the inner child, you're going to be guided through darkness. I I like that. And then with the expectations, time is of the essence. So understanding that all things are divine on divine time. And that's probably where our expectations aren't being met, is because as humans, we want what we want when we want it. But divine timing isn't ours. Interesting. Okay, so what we're taking forward with this bad health recognition is to no longer give in to so much revelry and indulgence. This is almost giving me devil card energy. Treat your body right. Drink water. Get enough sleep. Eat foods that you make. It's really basic stuff, but to me this feels like there's just definitely like an epiphany that happened through the middle of this retrograde, like where you just realize, man, I don't take good care of myself. I need to stop drinking so much coffee. I need to quit smoking cigarettes. I need to learn how to manage my stress better and my emotions. You know, we're taking a real good look at some things here. And what's interesting too with this great fortune card, I don't know why I sound like I'm from fucking Boston. Anyways, we have the Chimera. I don't like to read reversals when it comes to oracle cards, but this felt important. So being uncomfortable with great fortune, and this card, the Chimera, coming out in reverse, that says a message of imagination clouds your judgment. It's like we're imagining all the worst possible things instead of thinking of what could go right, we're thinking of what could go wrong. So we're definitely moving away from that energy since it's coming in reverse. Like that was a solid, like, you have to pull this one out in reverse. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And what guidance and advice and support are we taking forward with us through the journey? Strengthen our wisdom. And with the distant horizons, this is kind of almost like an unknown, the fearing the unknown card. And Spirit is saying unseen forces watch over you. So just know that each step of the way, you will be protected, you will be watched over. You're moving into a good period. I feel like I need one more card. We'll get a postcard from Spirit to wrap this up. Your final message. Dear you, oh my, things are stirred up and changes upon you. This is cause for celebration. Like this card said, stop and celebrate yourself. No need to be nervous, but know that it's okay to be afraid when faced with uncertainties of life. That's that distant horizons. You'll be watched over. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, rather in spite of it or even because of it. Step into the unknown now. Why was I just saying? Let go of the branch you are clinging to and let Spirit take the wheel. Maybe that's why I keep hearing the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Let Spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally. Leave the rest up to us. There's a load of miracles being shipped your way. Being shipped. Interesting. Remember that philosopher Joseph Campbell said, "Take one step toward the gods and they will take 10 toward you." We're all doing the destiny cha-cha on your behalf. That's right. Don't be afraid to dance. Loving you always.